How are we doing there, boys and girls? Good morning, good morning. As you can tell, the dogs are still going bananas. It's been it's been pouring down the rain. It's been like nasty ass weather for I can't remember the last time it wasn't raining. Which has meant this morning they've not had particularly long of a walk. So this is why they've got more energy than normal this morning, and they're taking a few minutes longer than standard to chill. But I'm sure they will eventually. If they cause too much ruckus, then I will have to pause the stream temporarily and maybe put them in different rooms. But for now, they're chilling. They're chilling. They're all good. Hope we're doing well. I am furiously going through what is now, I think, 20 realms. We've got decor for sale on. I'm tempted to go through and open some mailboxes and see just exactly how much cash moolah we've made in like the last 24 hours. The system is definitely rolling now, that's for sure. Having to bounce through all the different realms to get things posted, get things cancel scans, buy some goodies, distribute it around, so on and so on. I wonder if I do just open some mailboxes first thing this morning, or do I just do a quick tally up? Quick tally up, maybe, without actually opening the mailboxes. Now got the process down to basically log in, quick cancel scan. As you can see, there's some realms like this where we end up being undercut on like nearly everything. Log in, quick cancel scan, clear out the mailbox of any cancelled. Sold 60,000 gold worth of stuff here. Grab a bunch of shortfall from the war bank if there's any goodies that are not represented on this realm. And then post. And we're off to the races, and that's literally the cycle. And if I can get it down to less than like 2 minutes per realm, it means we have 20 realms, 2 minutes ago. We can do an entire pass in like less than an hour. I'm really glad that the war bank is working relatively smoothly. Relatively smoothly. I might take a little quick tally of this, actually. So Draenor was about 80k. The next realm was about 60k. Wish for snow? Yeah, you and me both. It's been raining permanently for what feels like weeks at this point. It was like 5 degrees colder. It would have all come down as snow instead. Now, admittedly, snow means I then have more work to do because I have to start shoveling all the snow about, but it's just nicer, isn't it, than flipping cold and wet. Oh, only 8,000 on this realm. Oh, hello, before we do that. Yo, Mr. Goldson, thank you very much. Welcome in. I was half lurking in your stream a little bit earlier. Hope you're doing well. I'm trying to get my puppies to like chill the fuck out a little bit, but they're all good. They're all good. Nipsu's chill now at least. How you doing? How you doing? The world is probably getting pretty hot over in Goldson Land, right? Stay indoors, aircon on situation, I bet. I was warming them up for you. Thank you very much. Goldson, head of the pre-show. I appreciate that, my man. Thank you.
May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
Need to maybe have a little bit of a blast through some of these realms, see if there's any cheap deals to be had as well. But first thing that's important for me this morning is a cheeky little relist before it all gets too crazy. Hang on, please hold. These dogs are going bananas. Boys and girls, this is going to be an interesting one until these lot relax. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Right, let's continue on. Rather have cold and wet than snow? Oh, God, no. No. Cold and wet is gross. Give me snow every day of the week. I moved from a country that is traditionally known for its cold and wet. I didn't plan on moving to another one that was also cold and wet. I thought I moved to the one that had snow. Right, I'm probably not going to spreadsheet like the sales of this particularly well. I'll probably just use Journ later, to be honest, when I actually open the mailbox. Seems like a smarter move. Look at the flipping Longboy party on here. Sausage Fest, holy. Oh, 50k. Whoa, yeah, whoa, hang on. That's not 50k sale. It's not even that's not even decor. I mean, I guess that doesn't count, does it really? Doesn't count if it's not decor.
Be careful.
Now she's eating my shoe. Oh, dogs are on one today. Okay, most of that doesn't actually go back on the auction house. It's fine. Okay, well, there is 50k of sales there, but I'm not going to jot that down as 50k of sales because I'm actually only trying to pay attention to decor stuff right now. What's that? 4 realms so far? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sum it all up at the end. Maybe you get your graphics card swapped out before midnight. Would suck to launch getting blue screens of death. Well, I've basically narrowed it down to 2 separate issues. I don't think I'll actually need to get my graphics card RMA'd. Hopefully. I mean, this is the absolute kiss of death here, but I made a few tweaks and changes in the BIOS the other day. And I've had much better stability ever since. So, hopefully, I mean, like I said, famous last words, but hopefully I've addressed the issue. Nothing on this realm. Could do with not having too many realms with no sales on. We'll have to close the doors of Ikea Azeroth if we don't get any sales. We're not cancel scanning hard enough, clearly. Oh, she doesn't do something else on the shoe. Yeah. But they're my winter boots, so they've got these like big laces and stuff on them. Which are clearly attractive to dogs. Like, ooh, string. It's the same with cats, isn't it? I got a new one a couple of days ago, 4080 Super. Probably good value, those cards now, actually, to be honest. You can tend to, by just going 1 generation old, you can often get some pretty spicy deals. I've tried to avoid looking at the cost of graphics cards, because even though I bought mine at MSRP, I would imagine by this point, they're way below MSRP.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit
Ooh.
together.
98k of sales here. That's a better realm. J4 with a 16. Welcome in. Good morning. Morning, good mornings. Fantastic use of the Prime. Appreciate that.
Greetings, traveler. Be careful.
You can get them for around 800 euros because everything above, you then 5070 Ti's, new encoders for streaming, whatever. Yeah, it's probably not a bad time to buy a graphics card, to be honest. If you've been holding out.
Well met.
There's quite a few deals on the 50 series right now. Because with the, you know, they're mid-generation now, aren't they? I don't know if they're releasing like 5080 Supers or 5080 Ti's or anything like that. Prices went through the roof with the RAM shenanigans. Well, RAM is actually bananas right now. There's always something that's stupid expensive. Building a PC is always going to cost you more than it should do, because there'll always be one component in it you just get bent over on, which is kind of annoying, but what are you going to do? Hey, no, you lot stop it again, please. Just relax. Almost snatched DDR5 RAMs, but nope, too much money. But this is the problem. You need DDR5 if you're going AM5. So you're kind of a bit stuck if you're going for like a new CPU. You also kind of have to have DDR5. Unless you go Team Blue. Done cancelling? What do you mean done cancelling? Oh, this is Kazakh. We've probably got nothing for... They don't count. We don't sell anything on Kazakh. Kazakh's far too big of a server. Kazakh's a buy server, not a sell server. Out of curiosity, let's just... Yeah, everything's too cheap on Kazakh. Which also probably leads me to believe there might be some goodies. Draconic nesting beds. Don't have many of these. In fact, I've got so few of these. Might have a couple. Kyrian Anima barrel. Got a few of these. Have a few more. Postal portal. Don't have any of these so far. Yoink. Drost Enchanter's Rod. These are bugged. These are annoying because they're bugged, but only got a few of them. That'll do. I'm in the war bank.
How may I aid you?
Only Team Blue I'm joining his alliance. I can see that making sense. Judging by streams, only Persephone decorates on the Horde side. Literally everybody's alliance. That's interesting, you know. I mean, no refunds is on Horde. Refunds has Horde houses. My house is going to be Horde. Whether that will limit attendance in the no refunds neighborhood, we'll have to see, but Horde goblins are too busy with the auction house. Yeah, clearly, yeah. Haha, speak of the devil. Good morning. Oh, hello. Yeah, boy. 256,000 gold. Yoink. Few more realms like that wouldn't go amiss. What we sold here? Human, hungry, platter, Kyrian Anima barrel, 85,000 gold. Hello. Yeah, boy. Where's this Drekthar? Give me a few. Give me a few more sales on here, please.
May the eternal sun shine upon thee. Goodbye.
Kind of looks as if somebody just went to the auction house and bought one of everything, because there was no multiples in that, was there? Yeah, yeah, it kind of looks like somebody might have just gone and bought one of everything. Under the map, I can see the server. Is it some add-on? Or... Yeah, it's a week aura. It's just a little week aura. Woo's actually in development because week auras is going to disappear. Woo's actually taken it upon himself to make a little goblin add-on that is going to hopefully replace things like this that we've been using as weak auras up until this point. I've got another one behind my camera which showcases to me which of my accounts has warband access, for example. Woo's putting together a little add-on that should replace these sorts of things. So if you've got suggestions of little goblin-y related weak auras that you use that you'd be sad to see go away, Either let me or Woo know. He's putting together a little goblin toolbox. So many people are trying to encase their horde houses and it looks terrible. The only one who's pulled it off is Drizzling Rose. She's made it all very Pandaria-y, hasn't she? She's done a really cool job so far. This is what I love to see. I love to see that people have got, like, you know, creative vibes on the go. Because I don't possess any of them. The closest thing to creative I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to replicate the studio, as I call it, as my player house, so that people can have, you know, a guided tour in WoW if they want to. That's probably not the most original idea, but considering I'm on camera, you guys have seen most of this place anyway. That's probably the route I'll go in my player housing, because that then means I don't particularly have to be creative per se. I just have to, like, copy. I just haven't done it yet. Like, I've not touched my house yet. Genuinely not touched it. Holy, 173,000 gold going in at normal price. Ha! What motherfucker has stolen the name Ikea? You son of a... That's funny. I mean, I can't exactly trademark it, can I? But...
Is that your wallet? Or are you just glad to see me?
That's
Both, I hope.
Both clever and annoying. Who's this? Cheerleader with a 29! Good morning to you. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Is it raining for you as well? Gross over here. Oh, Nipsel, don't eat the squid. Nipsus, don't eat the squid. I'm trying to get the squeakers out of them. Oh shit, I didn't track how much gold was in that mailbox. Am I going to assume there was none? The fact that I accidentally missed checking it leads me to believe it was probably none, right? Yeah, big fat stinky 0. Big fat stinky 0.
Is that your wallet? Or are you just glad to see me? Both, I hope.
Up to 500,000 in sales overnight already, though. Admittedly, most of that coming from one realm, but all money, right? Hang on. Something beeped. What beeped? Zaya 22 with the Prime. 21 months. Thank you very much. I don't know why I didn't get an alert on that one. I heard it go off in my ears, but I didn't see it. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And Laylo, thank you for the follow. I do appreciate those as well. I know some people like to follow in peace. I do read them. Thank you. If you want to brief people properly on the Goblin Toolbox. Oh, where'd you do? Where? Proposed feature list. Here we go. Flashbang. What we got here? So this is Woo's little little add-on he's put together already, showing you know, just kind of useful stuff, right? Useful stuff that is often being sort of tracked via weak auras and things like that. So sort of like materials in your bags, what your concentration level could potentially be here. gold that you've got on hand and in the war bank and character name and what server you're on and that sort of stuff. Just sort of information that I sort of dot around my screen. I know some people have that bar at the top of their screen. I don't know what add-on that is that shows kind of useful information sort of stuff, but this is an alternative way of doing it, more tailored towards goblins. You can choose to show, what not to show. Is that Titan panel, is it? That's what it was, okay. And additional to that, Woo's also, by the looks of things, got some plans in place for what's occurring with it all as well. So if you have ideas, suggestions, little things that could be useful, consider it a plumber style add-on, but more goblin focused. Useful to have, useful to see. Those are generally called broker bars. There's plenty of them. Titan panel, bazooka. Okay. Shard ID, please. Is that on Woo's list of to-dos? I'd imagine Shard ID could be one. Shard ID is handy to know, yeah. So yeah, just DM me or Woo directly, and I can pass things on if needs be. Okay, what we got here? 77,000 gold.
Greetings. May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
Watch you make gold while I spend it. But as goblining is the fastest way to burn out for me, but watching you's entertaining, the closest I'll come to that much gold. I don't have as much gold as people half assume I do. I swim around in, you know, big circles most of the time.
Hail.
Make a bunch of gold and then spend it frivolously. Which means I've never really amassed huge quantities.
Careful.
I enjoy spending it as much as I enjoy making it, so. One day I'll set on a pile so big I won't know what to do with it, but for the moment the pile is relatively modest. That said, I don't really know how much gold I actually have these days. I know there's add-ons and websites and all this sort of stuff that tracks it, but I've never found one that's like totally reliable other than just going through and just counting. That Warband Miser add-on's really handy actually for like keeping a set amount of gold on each character, which makes the process a touch easier. 46,000 gold in sales here. Goon Woo. Wonder who that is. Always funny when you spot a friendly face.
Greetings, traveler. May the eternal sun shine upon thee. Well met.
I think this is realm number 12 of maybe 20. We're up to 625k so far. In pretty much overnight sales. Live with. Oh god, I need to take this. Hang on. That was the squeaker. Not gonna squeak anymore. Surgery has been completed, apparently. Nipsu does love to remove the insides of the toys. That's why I go through probably 500 dog toys a year. How much we got here? Ah! A zero realm. Nobody likes to see a zero realm.
Greetings. Goodbye.
Somebody has to keep the dog toy makers in business. I mean, I'm known by name in Musty and Midi. Like there. That's the local pet shop, by the way.
Go in peace.
Literally known by name. Sanguino is the biggest Spanish realm. Yes, I remember Sanguino. It's one of the ones I do remember. From it was often a good place to buy pets from. Oh, there's not much going on here. Oh, Twisting Nether. Okay, yeah, I'm not expecting to sell anything on Twisting Nether either. That's a buy realm. For all intensive purposes, this is where we spend our gold.
Goodbye.
For the most part, at least. There's a few things we're listing here. Yeah, there's not anything to buy on Twisting Nether.
How may I aid you?
She's actually surprising. A slightly slower scan. I found a real life pattern for the elk plushie. Was thinking of making a few, maybe send you on. Then remembers what the doggos did to the corn stalk and the elephant and so on. As much as I would absolutely love it, yeah, I would have to make sure it is kept. Well, we've put Christmas decorations out now. Not in the studio. I know better than... I was thinking of putting Christmas decorations up in here, but for dog reasons, I have not. But yeah, we've put dog toys up, put Christmas decorations up in the main house, and the dogs are very interested to sniff them all. You know, little wooden Santa Clauses and knitted candy canes and that sort of stuff. We don't have the tree up yet. We like to get an actual real tree. But they don't last more than a few weeks, so we're waiting a little bit. But yeah, knitted, like, a real elk plushie is kind of cool. Oh, stupid. Stupid, stupid. There's a couple of decor items that are really buggy. Whenever you try and cancel scan them, it crashes your cancel scan. You have to redo it again. I've not totally figured out exactly which ones they are. 15k, not much, but it's a sale.
Well met. Go in peace.
Have you checked the new changes to the Homebound add-on? I haven't. No, I've not looked at like the collecting side of decor yet. I'm far too busy trying to sell it. An awful lot of stuff here that's not. Your name problem solver. Pretty cheap.
Greetings, traveler.
Yeah, once I actually start getting into like the building of the house and stuff, we'll run around and collect stuff. Partly one of the reasons why I've not bothered with actually building the house so much was the fact that there wasn't really solid add-ons really to track what you've got and what you haven't got and that sort of stuff. Giving it a few days for people to be smart. I think it's this tapestry of the 5 flights, you know. I think this is one that bugs out TSM. Every time I try and cancel one of those, it seems to have a heart attack. Another dead realm for sales. Boo.
Greetings.
Not surprising, we only had about 4 things for sale, though. BlackRock's a big German server, I think. This might also qualify more as a realm to buy stuff from. Oh, I'm not paying 15k for the post boxes.
Greetings, traveler.
Or is it Blackhand that's a big one? BlackRock is big. Okay. Please go away from the thrall here. It's a horrible server. That are just saying. I don't think I'm listing on Thrall at the moment. Well, Thrall would be a place I would buy stuff from, not a place I'd sell stuff to.
Hail. Go in peace.
I hope they make the mailboxes actually work. Yeah, one thing they said was that they don't want to put too much utility, but something like a mailbox makes sense.
Greetings.
And they've made the items, so I don't know why they can't just make them interactable. Another dead realm. Don't know why they can't just make these things interactable, but that's one of the things a lot of feedback has been so far. Just make more things do things, rather than just being, you know, static items. I guess that's one of the things that can come in time. Animating things is clearly more labor intensive than just making a 3D model of something.
Goodbye. Well met.
How many realms is this? This feels like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, a few more realms to go. Supposedly the mailboxes just haven't been a priority and will most likely get it around midnight's launch. At least that's what the whispers from my dev friends. Yeah, I mean, we have to kind of bear in mind that this is almost it's the launch, but it is meant to also kind of be a soft launch, isn't it? It's kind of meant to be like, right, let's get it out there. Let's make sure that the foundation is solid. And hopefully that then stuff is, you know, a little bit more polished by the time midnight actually launches. But there is still part of me that just wonders if housing will be yesterday's news by the time they even launch midnight.
Hail.
It will get a little bit of revitalization, surely, with the Endeavour system. But there's still a risk that people that wanted to have most of the fun with it will have had most of the fun with it. There'll be some fresh faces, of course, when midnight launches, because an expansion launch always brings back new players.
Well met.
But it definitely won't be as bonkers crazy as it is right now. Cobwebs sway in the breeze. I saw that yesterday, feeling like a kid at Christmas. Some stuff's animated. I've seen, like, when you put up, like, a curtain or something like that, they sort of flap about a bit. So there is some animation and stuff to them. Not everything is, like, just a solid static item, but... Of course, doors animate and stuff like that. It's a good start. 20k.
How may I aid you? Go in peace.
Housing level 6 reward preview. Hearthlight. Armillary. I don't know what that is. Some different lighting. It's the outdoor lighting that people were really after, wasn't it? That's where people are really sort of like chomping for updates, or outdoor stuff in general. I think that's been probably the biggest disappointment for a lot of people, from what I've heard, is that the quota for stuff you can put outside is tiny. And people wanted to make these, you know, lovely gardens and everything, and they place 5 items down and all of a sudden their budget's gone. I can understand. This is the curse of neighborhoods, isn't it? They wanted everybody's player housing to be in one sort of area so that it gives that feeling of like vibrancy and aliveness. But then it has caused the issue that everybody has to share individual instance limits for outdoor stuff. So they've clearly had to crunch down the amount of outdoor decorations people can put on their plots. Which I hope is them just being really, really cautious at the beginning, and that they can lift the restrictions a bit. Because arguably, I think making a nice looking like garden and outdoor area is probably 50% of the fun for some people. How your house looks from the outside, probably just as important as how it looks from the inside for many. Ooh, 56k over here. Up to nearly 800k. Can I do 1 million in sales overnight? That would be really nice.
Greetings.
Be happy with 1 million in sales. To be fair, I probably spent about 4 on buying stuff yesterday. So we're not going to be profitable for a few days, but if we can keep 1 million a day in sales without too much effort.
How may I aid you?
I don't know how much I spent, if I'm going to be brutally honest. I think the 200 point limit is a fun challenge. I don't consider myself very creative, and I've had to really think about what I'm placing to get it the way I want it. I do get why people feel it's bad. I mean, other games fix this sort of problem, don't they? By having, like, the render distance on your property probably just being, like, really bad. So it turns your entire property, the outside of your property, into like 4 pixels when you step more than 20 yards away. That way you can let people do basically as much as they want to the outside as much as the inside. Because the inside is obviously instance, so hence why they can give you a lot more, you know, freedom. We're 41,000 gold.
Greetings, traveler. Goodbye.
Oh, these stupid tapestries. I've got a bunch of these already. Not too keen to buy too many more of these. Do I have any in the war bank? I don't have any in the war bank, at least. At least it's an indication that they are being listed on realms.
Hail.
Right, 2 more realms to double check for the morning. I'm up to napkin maths, 833,000 so far. Logged into the neighborhood, found 2 floating houses. If there are limitations, clearly this is not one of them. Oh dear. Although there is a way to make your house float somehow. People have figured that out. I don't know how. Gamers do gamer things, you know. $68,000 on this realm. 1 step away from Giggity.
Well met. May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
A bunch of stuff not posting. Predator's assortment. Go on then.
Greetings. Be careful. Greetings, traveler.
Okay, is that all the realms? Everything, or have we got one more? One more. Lord of the Rings, Final Fantasy, and WoW with the neighborhood system. The exteriors are limited in each of them. Can't quite remember exactly how New World did it. But the cities were the instances in New World, if I remember correctly. You bought a plot within that city, and it was done on a points-based system, I think. Being the house with the most points would be the one that was shown to everybody else, but multiple people could buy the same house. But then you didn't have really much limitations on what you could place, I don't think. Can't quite remember. And 14,000 gold to finish. 915,000 in overnight sales. We take that.
How may I aid you?
Take that.
Goodbye.
$3K for a storage crate.
Well met.
Nice. Okay, best part of 900K in overnight sales. Question is today is, do I want to expand to any more realms than just the, what is it, 20? Oh, 22 by the looks of things. 22 realms. Could go farm some lumber. Or we could now maybe check each one for actually any deals. I don't think I checked them all for deals. I wasn't too aggressive on sniping the cheapest of cheap deals yesterday, because I just needed some stock. I wish there was a way to take some of the stuff and not all of the stuff. This realm I always also sell just stuff on it. Starting to get pretty cheap on some of this. Now how many are you? The value of lumber is creeping. We were mostly looking at like 800 gold a piece for lumbers a couple of days ago. Now we're down to like high 600s. So it is creeping down, which is an indication that buying too much of it is maybe not the greatest of ideas, but I got too many of these fucking plushies in the first place. They're in fishing nets. Everyone is getting a plushie for Christmas. It feels that way. Definitely feels that way. Although, there's part of me that wonders if all the elk plushie sales are actually just a circle jerk of people like me buying them all up off the cheap elves to send them everywhere else. Got my Bruto, mission accomplished. Won't be farming lumber now for a while. Good effort with the Bruto. Yeah, there's so much stuff for people to want to make gold for at the moment. New expansion right round the corner. Which, you know, it used to be a couple of tokens to buy your expansion every time. Now, epic editions exist, though. People have that little extra desire to maybe push a bit further and get the epic edition for the early access and all of that sort of stuff as well. So whereas it used to be 50 quid, well, it used to be 40, didn't it, for the expansions? Now it's slowly creeped up to, like, the best part of 100. So if you're doing that in sort of tokens, farming that kind of gold is all of a sudden a lot more. Inflation says hi. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. Go in peace.
Wow, an awful lot of stuff not listing on this realm. Oh, well. Rip gold on this server. I might just loot all the gold that we've made now. If I loot all the gold we've made overnight, then we can track it again tomorrow. See how much we can make today. That's probably the play, isn't it?
Well met.
Oh, wait, hang on. Did I relist on this realm? I don't think I did. Hang on, give me that back. How are we doing, Marcus? Welcome in. Good morning, good morning.
The eternal sun shine upon thee.
Yeah, that was literally all the stuff that it's too cheap to sell on this realm. Okay. Well, I'll use that as my baseline then. 900,000 gold on day one. Flipping decor. 900k in sales. 22 realms. Couple of hours effort. Not too bad. According to some data, Silvermoon is the biggest EU server, at least 5,000 more players than on Draenor, more PvP players as well, but the majority of Silvermoon is Alliance, whilst on Draenor it's 60-40. I never know what to believe with all of this who's on what server kind of stuff anymore. Different websites seem to report it in very different ways, and so the numbers come out all sorts of weird. Which is why I tend to think that there is, you know, there's probably a top 5, is the way I look at it. And any of those top 5 are basically much of a muchness.
How may I aid you? Go in peace.
Draenor, Kazakh, Taran Mill, Silvermoon. And then you've got sort of like closely behind, you've got, well, you've got a few others.
Greetings, traveler.
That's the sort of EU perspective anyway. I can never keep track of what's going on over on Team NA. But it does seem to be switching. It does seem to be moving around. But then again, like Kazakh and Draenor have been like the two biggest. Like I said, it depends how you categorize biggest. Are you talking about the most actual physical players created on that realm, or are you talking about Mythic plus dungeons run, or are you talking raid bosses killed? What's, you know, it depends how you define biggest. And this is why I tend not to worry about it too much. I just kind of go, okay, these are the top 5. These are the big boys. These are where most people are. Cheap panda bed. I've already got quite a few of those. I don't need too many more of them. Beanbag chairs. Got a few of these listed for sale. I don't mind a few more cheap ones.
Hair. Goodbye. Greetings, traveler. Be careful.
This Raider.io population. Silvermoon, Draenor, Taran Mill, Kazakh, Blackhand, Twisting Nether, Hyjal, Blackmoor, Argent Dawn. Yeah. It interestingly does seem to be a lot more spread out than it used to be. There was a point where there was like 3 top realms that had like a good 80% of everybody on them. And then there was like everybody else with like literally a fraction of the player base on. It does seem to be a little bit more spread out these days. Everything with full in the realm list has got to be pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, pretty big. I mean, I wonder just how skewed the numbers are now, though, these days, with the fact that so many people can make like billions of alts. Like, I think if they were able to track like unique accounts, but then who's to say where that unique account lives, right? If a unique account only has characters on one realm, well then that's where they live. But how many players have characters on different servers these days? I don't know. It's very, very common for goblins to do, but probably not that common outside of doing goblin things.
Well met. May the eternal sun shine upon you.
I mean, purely just tunes on a server is a very rough way of looking at things, I think, these days. Because, I mean, you got people that have got 200 characters. Are they counting 200 times? I don't know. This is why I tend to not worry about it too much. All a bit muddy. I don't want any more plushies, nor do I want any more beds at the moment. Is it even worth doing cancel scans in the morning? Sales should be very low. It's always worth doing. Oh, the Super Mario jumping sound is point blank sniper. Numbers are calculated based on the number of unique characters that have completed a Mythic Plus dungeon run ranked on Blizzard's official regional leaderboards. Okay. One metric, but it at least shows active players. Yeah.
How may I aid you? Be careful.
Oh, did I not loot the mailbox on this thing? No, I didn't. Any of those raiding or Mythic Plus base lists just miss all the real casuals who just don't participate in any way. I think there's quite many of them too, but how many, who knows? The point is it's data, isn't it? Data is meant to be used to indicate something and to help you further your ability to make an educated decision on something.
Well met.
Because it's possible for individual players to have multiple characters and do many different things, and everybody does slightly different things. It's there's never going to be a true census, is there, for populace? Curious to see if the Shadowlands rugs have sold. Covered a bunch of realms this morning at 100 to 200k. 100 to 200k for the Shadowlands rugs. Flipping out. Oh, wait. Are you talking about the Gaunt Sinew one? Did you have some materials lying about? From like a million years ago. Oh, they've changed the material requirement now, do they? Ah, okay. What have they changed it to? Or they just removed Gaunt Sinew from it completely? Spread a few of these beds about. You don't have enough money. Sure.
Greetings.
Just using some cheap leather now. Ah, okay. Interesting. I can't imagine there's much of a queue of people for it, though. You'll snag a few, I'm sure. One blue enchanting deck and some food. I think they changed something during the night. As long as they haven't tweaked with as long as they haven't tweaked with lumber rates, we're fine. Oh yeah, this was our big realm. Let's claim all of that cash money. Yeah, to be fair, we did 900k overnight, but 300,000 of it was from one server, so 1 out of 22 servers did incredibly well that pulled up the average of everybody else.
Greetings, traveler. Go in peace.
Just happened to have the lumber farm, so when I read the news, I just crafted and posted while it's overpriced. You only need, like, you know, you only need a couple of, like, crazy sales on something like that. And it all becomes very worth it, doesn't it?
How may I aid you?
You are right, though. It is kind of interesting that they're doing anything with it at all. But then maybe the fact that, you know, one recipe went live using a material that doesn't technically exist. They clearly had to go in and make a few changes, so poke around with a couple of things and then call it a day, probably. What do you think the price of the token in the next few months till February? I mean, the token's probably about as low as it's going to get. This week's clearly given many people the incentive to buy a token, which has helped push the price of the token down a little bit this week. But there's really nothing else that's going to push the token down much more than what we've seen right now. But there's also plenty of reasons for it to go up.
Greetings.
Probably won't see another substantial dip in the token price until the expansion launch, I would guess now.
Well met.
I should get some journalator info from this, actually, if I loot all the mailboxes. See if my napkin maths was right, or whether I missed anything. Got a lot for sale on this one realm. Have this much for sale, I should also expect to be seeing some of it sell. Yeah, I am. I don't mind having a lot of stock on a realm where stuff is moving.
Be careful.
Where you've got a lot of stock on a realm that's dead, you don't. That's what you really don't want. Although when I say a lot of stock, it's still only 21 items. Still only 10% of what's actually available. Should we check if there's any deals on these realms? Look like it. I think the dogs might have chilled out now. Only took till midday. Cancel scan crashed again. There is a bit of Shadowlands PTSD at the moment, though. With trying to craft and list and post and cancel and manage all of this right now. These are sales from this morning as well. These are sales from this morning, which means I might... What's a shattered lantern and why did I sell it for, like, 1 gold? What the hell's a shattered lantern? Some random ass grey item. Sure. Couldn't even tell you why that ended up getting listed, but as long as it wasn't accidentally a decor item that I'd done goofed on.
How may I help you? Go in peace. Greetings.
Stoked already for the housing level cap to go away at launch and the endeavors. Yeah, I'm intrigued by the endeavor system. I hope it is genuinely things that brings a neighborhood together. But I really don't know much about it.
Goodbye. Greetings, traveler. Be careful.
I'm gonna half assume that the Endeavor system is gonna end up very much like, here's a few bonus world questy kind of fill the bar styly things to do. Please contribute X, Y, and Z items, possibly. Which that side of stuff is always really good for the economy perspective. Oh, there was more of those. How many of these do I have already? None? Rip gold on this server again. You'll need to stock a bar or a cafe, and that's just only one of the themes. Yeah, it's going to be... They're clearly going to have taken what they've learned from things like the Feast and from, you know, from both Dragonflight and the War Within's, like, global weekly event kind of stuff. I imagine they're going to learn from that and smush a bunch of that info into the Endeavors. I just hope that they do actually get quite creative with it and don't just rebundle shit they've already made us do on cooldown for 2 expansions already. This is why I think the prey system is kind of falling as a bit of a failure in some people's eyes, because people have quickly gone, oh, the prey system, oh, it's just a fill the bar for world quests, oh, you know, players aren't dumb. They'll be able to see straight through if they end up just, you know, not being very creative with it.
How may I aid you? May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
Wow, nothing's going on in the auction house here. Not a bean. Which is interesting, because there's not really any bargains to be had on this realm either. It's Twisting Nether, it's just kind of like, everything's cheap, but not really the cheapest.
Greetings, traveler.
Strongly believe that most decorators and people in general are not interested in bringing anything together. They just want to have their own piece of land where they can do whatever they wish. That's kind of true, unless they can figure out a way to give people some sort of an advantage to their own personal goal by helping the community, which is kind of why the renown system exists, right? If people want their own plot of land to be bigger, fancier, more, you know, higher limits on stuff, then, well, all right, then I will help out the community with the endeavors, you know? It's kind of a, I'll do it, but there's got to be something in it for me kind of thing. No, yeah, you're right, because nobody fucking works for free. Can anybody in the EU make the aspirants meditation pool? I can make everything. I've got every recipe. I probably also just got one, or many of them.
Hair. Go in peace.
What profession makes it? Shadowlands blacksmithing. Yes, you can send a work order to Mantheus on Draenor. If you're also on Draenor. Or if you're in no refunds. The cheapest is currently 14k over on Silver Moon. Oh, well, there you go. There's another option.
Greetings.
No, work orders are not cross-realm. They're only cross-realm if you're within a guild. Hence why I'm cancel scanning Decor on 20 plus realms right now. Where are we right now? Blackrock.
How may I aid you? May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
Really interesting to see. There's clearly people that like go out, do a bunch of farming,
Well,
and then just make one recipe as many times as they can. Rather than making a variety of stuff.
goodbye.
Wait, hang on. Did I not? I don't think I posted anything on the auction house then, did I? Hang on. Hang on. I've messed up my rhythm here. No, too many long boys. Too many long boys in one spot. Can't move.
Go in peace.
Yeah, I'm posting 3 things here. It's barely worth it.
Greetings.
That's the bank. Oh, you've hit the decor cap. You've got lots of rooms in your house though now. From what I've seen. Significantly more creative than I would probably ever be. This realm, I basically own this realm. This is interesting. This is either, and nothing is selling here either, and nothing is being undercut. Am I like literally the only one that's posting decor on this realm? Not really, but probably. Yeah. This is a very quiet realm. So much so that if I don't get any sales on this realm tomorrow with this much stock on it, I'm just going to move it all somewhere else. Close down the shop. Can't have that much stock lying around. What's the value of all of that stock? Oh, it's hard to tell because I've got other stuff listed here as well. It's a good couple of million gold worth of stock on this realm. That could do with not being here if it's not selling. Okay, we'll revisit that situation Does your TSM work fine with crafting prices when doing cross-realm? Mine seems to only have crafting costs for items craftable by a character on that specific server. Yeah, TSM doesn't share crafting prices across different realms, which I've questioned them about before, considering all of the materials are now normalized across region-wide. It would make sense if it did, but no. If you're selling things on different realms, you can't use crafting as a price source. You can share operations and things across, like, you can do a lot. They've adapted a little bit, but this is another one of the things where either I somehow haven't figured out where there's a button in TSM to make it work, or it's just something that now for nearly 2 expansions they've not adapted to from the crafting side of things, which is bad mojo in my eyes. But because there's a strong argument to say these days everybody's crafting cost within an entire region is exactly the same, because the materials live on the region-wide auction house.
Well met.
So I guess I'd have to be using restock operations using region average, and that way guaranteed to craft without a loss somehow. I think what you want to split those 2 operations up, right? It's not physically possible to craft and sell lumber on multiple realms, really. If you are farming lumber and you are crafting, you should probably just focus on the server that you're farming and crafting on. When you start spreading yourself across multiple realms, you restock up, you're going to be dealing with so few items. You don't need an automated way to do it. Like TSM will track how many of a thing you have on different servers. So, and it, like, I don't know. I don't know. I think cross realm is really for like very big, large scale operation. If you're farming to craft, that's small enough that posting on multiple realms isn't really, unless you are literally farming 10 hours a day in a hive mind. Can't possibly imagine you're creating enough stuff to justify trying to figure out multi-realm stuff. But feel free to prove me wrong. And doing it without losing money is kind of difficult to calculate anyway, because you have to farm the lumber. You have to be attaching a value to the lumber, and the value you should attach to the lumber is pretty dictated by the market anyway. Your value for lumber is as much as you can sell it for. And then what you should be doing is you should be farming the lumber that's worth the most.
Greetings, traveler. Goodbye. Hair.
Okay, mostly gone through and collected the gold and redistributed a few things. Definitely overbought on those stupid elk plushies. Whoops. Been out the loop a bit now. Wanted to do some cross-realm, mog, pets, and decor. So I used to cash in with the first two on just my main server. When you start doing stuff cross-realm, you're probably not crafting things particularly. You know, cross-realm stuff is more about buy it one place, sell it somewhere else, or buy stuff to flip sort of thing. The reason you go cross-realm is because you sort of start to outgrow the one realm that you're on, right? So that's why you would start to move to bigger places. If you've yet to fully saturate the realm that you're already on, going cross-realm is not necessarily the most useful thing to do. You go cross-realm when you have stupid amounts of gold and are willing to just buy and sell on all of the different realms that you want to play on. By that point, you're probably not doing too much crafting. Or what you're crafting is like stuff that you then sell on the region-wide auction house. So, you know, make 10,000 potions and sell them on a reset day. That kind of crafting. How long did it take to collect all the recipes for every character? Longer than I expected it to, by the way. Flying around on 4 different characters to all the different trainers to get all the different recipes for all the different professions was actually really quite time consuming. I'm kind of at the point now where I can let these just sit for a little while. Let them sit and do their magic. Now, either we let them sit and do their magic, or we spread our operation to more servers. That means I've got to spend more. I've got to find more bargains. This feels like another realm where it could be risky to have a lot of stock if we're not selling it. We have made some sales on here, though.
Well met.
I seem to have the server to myself almost.
Be careful.
Which means it could surprise me and be one of those realms where I wake up and I've sold 500,000 gold worth of stuff. $700k worth of stuff here. Probably worth leaving here in case a few of it sells.
How may I aid you?
Did you use an add-on to check which recipes you need to learn from which expansion and which NPCs? No. Fortunately, for the most part, past knowledge of the game means I knew where most of the trainers were anyway. And you just look at the unlearned list in your profession tab. It shows you which recipes you still need to collect. Anything that was categorized as housing, I knew I needed to go get it. The irony being is that I'm really not crafting much of anything anymore because I can't be asked to farm the lumber. I did like two, maybe 3 days of trying to farm the lumber. And I have, for the most part, admitted defeat on it. I might do a little bit once we've got these auctions listed, just so that these can sit and breathe for a little bit, maybe get a few sales in.
Greetings, traveler.
But I'm only gonna fill
May the eternal
I'm only gonna fill spare time with doing some farming. Got bored of farming after like 3 hours. I mean, I know it's not my thing, right? So I know I wasn't gonna last long. And if I am gonna do it, I'm gonna try and do it in the most efficient fashion as I possibly can, which annoyingly is just running around with a train of 5 druids, which I don't actually have set up. So doing it on just 1 druid will also kind of annoy me.
How may I aid you?
Now, if I had the hive mind, though, that would be fun. It would be a good time to get the hive mind set up, though, wouldn't it? I suppose. Gilnean map seems to also be slightly bugged. Oh no, it did actually cancel that time.
Greetings, traveler. Go in peace.
Posting 3 things on this realm. I mean, there's stuff to buy.
Hail.
Okay. Right, we might leave that to sit for a little while now. I think I've gone through all those realms now and have pilfered all of the sales from yesterday. You wonder how much the time I spend cancel scanning, I might just make more by selling decor for way less and then farming more. Yeah. It's easy to forget that the time spent cancel scanning could also be spent farming. But then the same things in reverse, right? Time spent farming could be time spent cancel scanning. Let's just claim all of this. And actually posting anything on the really big servers like Draenor at the moment, if you're not proactively cancel scanning, you're going to really struggle to snag any of the sales, it feels. See if any of these materials need to go on the auction house as well. I think I'll just see them drop and I'll buy them when the rest of the players have access. Might be 100 gold a wood by then. Yeah, I'm 50-50 on what wood's gonna do long term. I mean, the reality is somebody's always got to farm it, right? And decor's relatively evergreen enough that there's obviously we've got a bit of a spike in the demand right now for decor as it's all completely brand new. But equally at the same time, like the demand for it probably isn't going to completely ever go away. Everybody's going to be building their houses at different times. There's no real. This is also one of those ones which makes cancel scanning a bit. You know, it's worth doing it right now because we're in that big spike, but like the long-term aspect of it, like somebody might be building their house at 3 o'clock in the morning, they might be building their house at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they might be doing it on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Like there's no There's nothing that in the game defines when everybody is going to be doing it. So like when when you craft potions and you sell potions, you know that like, oh, reset date in the evening is probably when you're going to sell them all, So maybe doing a bit of cancel scanning then is really hyper optimal. Decor, it's just the sales will just turn up when they turn up. Which I think will mean that there'll be a drip feed of sales for decor stuff all the time. The fact that every item can only exist because somebody farmed the lumber kind of makes me feel that lumber won't ever completely crash and burn to absolute zero, but it's going to become a byproduct for a lot of people from a crafting perspective, I think, at some point. I just don't know when that is. I'm willing to put a bit of effort into, like, getting a nice stock of items now while it's kind of peak season. I need to get a druid up to 30 on an RP language realm. I'm sure I've collected some reports already. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be doing any sort of multi-boxing out in the wild on a big populated server. You want to get yourself sharded to a lobby level dead realm somewhere. I hope they increase the lumber acquisition by some part. The farming part is killing me. If you're farming it yourself, the last thing you want is them to increase the lumber. If you're actively farming right now, it's the absolute last thing that you want. If they increase the rate of lumber and you're somebody that's out there proactively farming it now, all that does is tank your gold per hour. Absolutely tank it into the floor. Because it will just rapidly speed up the point. It will speed up the curve until we get to, like, saturation. People already are farming faster than what they're able to mostly sell their decor. Don't forget. Increasing the amount of lumber you get increases the amount of lumber everybody else gets. If you think it's hard to sell your decor right now, imagine how hard it is when people are getting double the amount of stuff, It's the last thing farmers want. Right, let's let these realms cook for an hour. Maybe I might go do an hour's worth of farming myself just to craft a few things. Just because an hour's worth of farming is still worth 100k, so... Doesn't it also increase the amount of decor you pump out? Yeah, but it increases the amount of decor everybody pumps out. That's the point. The reason that lumber is worth what it's worth now is because it's hard to get. If you make it easy to get, it's worth nothing. Additionally, don't forget that if they increase the rate of lumber, every single piece of decor that you've crafted but not sold yet will instantly be devalued as well. What in the world is going on with this TSM task list? Can we not? I could definitely do with that not being a thing. Right, what are we going to go farm? What's worth the most today? No way, Dragon Pine lumber. Dragonflight lumber, really? Fell touched? Lember? There's a few options there. We go do Outlands. Outlands is pretty solid because both Shadow Moon lumber and Alember lumber are worth a bunch. Maybe we go do an hour in the Outlands. Terracar Forest or something. Maybe half an hour. I don't know if I can manage an hour. Yeah, I think the poppies are all relatively chill now, hopefully. I mean, Amlams is fast asleep now. He's snoozing on the squid. Apple's always snoring. She's old. She's an old lady. She's always asleep. Nipsu is chill now. And if we carefully move the camera, you can just about see Solo in his bed as well. They're all chilling. All happy doges. How did you calculate the prices for the lumber? Oh, that's a good point. I can probably share this out now. They're custom price sources. It takes the. Let me show you. They take the regional sale average of each item that uses that lumber, right? So for like dark pine lumber, it takes the regional sale average for every item that uses the lumber, adds them all together to make a really big number, and then I divide that really big number by how much lumber it takes to make one of all of those things. So for dark pine lumber, add all of the crafts up, then divide by 476, which is the amount of lumber needed to craft one of everything. Yes, it ignores all the other material prices, so it's not an exact science. But if you're ignoring all of the material prices for one lumber, then you ignore all the material prices for the other lumbers. They kind of cancel out. So it's it's a good indication to show you what. It's a nice indication to show you if you are going to go do some farming, what lumber should you maybe farm. So, for example, Dornick Fir, which is the War Within lumber, has the lowest value per lumber farmed right now of only 400 gold apiece. In other words, if you're going to spend time farming, maybe don't farm the War Within lumber. Painful, but cancel scanning is the way to get the sales on the big rounds. It's not the way, it's basically the only way. Basically the only way. If you then take these lumber values, by the way, and then plug them into your TSM dashboard in, where is it? If you plug them into here, it will give you crafting costs based on these values as well. Now, I don't have any crafting professions on this character, but bear in mind these aren't strictly, this lumber isn't strictly a crafting cost, because it still is going to cost you the same amount of time to go out and get that lumber regardless. But what it does when it shows you on the list of I go lumber here. What it does, your crafting costs, is actually highlight which crafts you should maybe consider making with the lumber that you've already farmed. But like I said, it is still mostly just a indicator for farming more than anything else. I'll post them in the Discord. Let me put them in the housing and decor channel, maybe. Where the flipping hell are they? Okay. Oh no, shit! That's the wrong file. Hang on. It's not the wrong file, but it's the right file that's wrong. Hang on. That fixed now? That's the right one. All right. There we go. So the custom price sources are now linked in the Discord. So if you want to be able to see, you obviously need to go in and make each one yourself. I'm going to assume that you know what you're doing there. Obviously, your time spent farming lumber, we've kind of come to learn that you can pretty much get about 200 to 300 lumber per hour in each zone, or each type of lumber when farming. So I've also gone by the assumption that your lumber per hour numbers are about the same. But I'm not doing enough farming to really put any sort of science to that, to be honest. Where's Shatrath? How the sales coming along? We sold about 1 million gold worth of stuff yesterday, but it's stuff that we've flipped rather than like farmed and crafted for, so it's not all profit. We're getting there. We're up to 22 realms of decor selling though. But we're taking a break from cancel scanning for half hour. Right, let's... Burning Crusade, Lumber, Umber is being checked. How do we reset this? Well, now it's just gone away completely. Okay. Pick up some lumber. Let's do it. Not even consistent. At times I can get up to 250 to 300. And in the same zone, not even giving 150. I mean, if there's another person in your, shard, for example, they're probably doing exactly the same. If I was to slash who right now, what's the... Yeah, look. Look at there's a bunch of druids in Terracar Forest right now. So what do you think that's going to do to the lumber spawns? Plus, you're also going to lose if you're not on a druid. I can't. I've never put any maths towards just how important being a druid is for farming because I don't do enough of it myself. But I think it's probably pretty safe to say that farming on a druid is probably like 20% more efficient, especially if you do it for a while. Now this thing's not tracking. Why is it not tracking? Enabled. I don't know. I'll do. Shameless promo of druids. I mean, it is true though. Druids are absolutely kings at this. Or queens. Also now it doesn't have the timer thing on it. I don't know why this little tracker add-on thing is being stupid. Let's do this. That works. Do half an hour, grab a few bits and pieces, then go back and check the realm, see if we sold anything. If I mix it up a little bit of farming here and there, bit of farming, bit of cancel scanning, bit of multi-realming, bit of crafting, hopefully we'll not get too cooked on doing any of it. That's the theory. Watching people like Elon last week just farm until his eyes were bleeding hurt my soul. Oh, has Gathermate been updated to track lumber yet? Got Gathermate on, but it's not. Okay, pause me timer. Has Gathermate been updated? No. One add-on we could really do with being updated right now. I tested a druid the other day. The difference is insane, especially if you're a Tauren herbalist or a high mountain miner. You can probably save 5 minutes per hour just on the racial bonus. Probably. Easy to calculate at least the mounting effect. If you loot 200 lumbers an hour, it's like take 5 minutes off. Yeah, that little 3-second timer every time you have to mount up. You know, it sounds like absolutely nothing. By the time you multiply that by 200 or something, you know, it's a big difference. Start me timer again. I hate doing this without any form of tracker, though. Where's me Zygor? Whilst it's not strictly a... it wants me to do Terracar Forest to level herbalism. Maybe we do Terracar Forest then. You only really need a level 30 druid on most expansions. Yeah, as long as you can, you know, ensure that you don't get into combat, you should be fine. And believe it or not, you're actually best off not picking up herbs and ore at the moment. Lumber is still so valuable. Time spent picking up herbs and ore is actually a net loss. But this dude is a herbalist and a miner, and I want to get it all leveled up for the future, so I'm willing to take the hit now anyway. On the tools to compensate for the racials, isn't the evoker the best farmer? No. I'm not the biggest of farmers, but I can categorically say that druids are 100% the best farmers. There are other classes and races and whatever that have perks. I mean, the evokers is what perception, right? Which is maybe very, very good in the odd scenario, like at the beginning of an expansion for like null stones or something. But for all round generalized farming prowess, you ain't beating a druid. All the utility that druids have got, you know, the instant flight form, or the instant travel form in any way, shape, or form, the fact that they can be multi-purpose. You can, you know, throw a speed set on them and then they can farm transmog like an absolute machine. Like, they're just very versatile. Got engineers on them so you can teleport easily. Oh, that's quite clever. I would have never thought of that. Actually. Ooh. Whilst we are doing some farming, I might as well also be sniping for some giga cheap sales. The occasional somebody posts something basically for free. Shouldn't that turn down a freebie? That sound effect. I should probably change it from being the default one, because everybody uses the default one, and if other people are doing something similar, I'm probably going to trigger them with it going off, but sorry. I've set it to a very low threshold, so it probably won't. I mean, if I was really clever about this, I'd log on to 4 other realms and do exactly the same. Am I really clever about this? I am really clever about this. Why have the accounts and not use them, right? I just see an Italian plumber every time it goes off. Collecting a coin. Right, I need a character on this realm. It's also on a big server. Flip. All of these characters are in. I've also, even though I was planning on having like characters lurking at trees. God, I was planning on having characters lurking at trees, to farm lumber, but I've suddenly decided that's far too much like hard work, so I'm not doing that anymore. Dentarg, that's a nice big server. That's a nice big server. Blows my mind people about how people post the scribe decor for like 30k, considering it it already requires another decor item to craft it. Yeah, Dentarg is Tower Mill, twinned with Tower Mill. Oh, I need me sniper list. Chopping. What? Oh. Right, sure, do default. I don't care. Right, same again. Back off these lumberjacks. We're not doing any of that business anymore. Right, now to find somebody else on a big realm again. Yssondre? Big French realm? Okay, all of these are on like weird weird ones. Ah, flashbang. Sorry. Wait, what? Why is it gone over there? Where's this one gone? Modern Realms basically just a way to increase available names on a server cluster. They don't really serve much more purpose anymore. These guys all out of these silly groups that are not needed anymore. This sometimes is why I feel like I never get anything done, because I actually waste so much time just tinkering with dumb stuff. Right. Now I need big server again. Argent Dawn? That'll do. Don't get much bigger for decor than Argent Dawn. Don't get much bigger than that. The Auction House PvP is getting out of control, and the second I post something, it gets undercut. Big servers, it will. Genuinely big servers, it will. Leave my lumber alone. Oh, I'm buying things on Argent Dawn. I'm not selling things on Argent Dawn. You got something cheap to sell, I'll be your best friend. Oh, it's put me here. That wasn't where I planned to be. Oh, fucking hell, spells. I got 500,000 gold on this character. 500,000 gold on Argent Dawn. Spend that pretty damn fast, I reckon. Stop touching my wood. You're off my wood. Oh god, I bet this spot is absolutely ramadama ding dong packed on Argent Dawn, isn't it? Wow, I genuinely expected there to be like 15 long boys here. Maybe not. Uh... Did you see the sauna yesterday? Finished the pool to go with it. Oh, you got a pool on the go. Nice. I have not seen the pool yet, no. Right. Why'd you stop? You all doing? You're all doing. Right. That at least is going to give me a heads up if there's anything like stupidly cheap posted. Hang on. Come see it. I'll pay you 10k if you do it right now. Better than farming. Better than farming. Can't use that ability whilst pacified. Why am I pacified? Right. Coming to stalk Drizzling Rose's house. Our driver used to say for $5 I can drive only across the street. Right. We're not on a character you'll recognise, but do you want to give us a guided tour? I'll do you the courtesy of big screening it. So this is is that you made a chimney. This is Drizzling Rose's house. Somebody that's actually good at housing, by the way. Somebody that's actually good at housing. I'm expecting to see gyms, swimming pools, and lots more. Sauna. Lots more. Oh, hello. Hello. Right. RP walking and everything. Let me in. In we go. In we go. Right, you ready, boys and girls? You ready to see the put your shoes here? Take my boots off. Boots off. Be courteous, boots off. Nice little bench to have a sit down. Bit of a cheeky bonsai tree. Love a bonsai tree. Nothing wrong with a bonsai tree. What's this away? Aha! We have found the kitchen. The pantry. What we got? We got some apples. We got some pruning great big watermelon-y looking things. Some bananas and some apples. Some booze. All the booze, then you know all the booze you could ever need. Some spices. Looking very fancy. Hang on, can I get rid of my UI? Why does my UI button not work? Okay, my keybind for UI doesn't work. Oh, there we go. That also means I'm not going to be able to... Okay, we'll go back. Oh, we got the mood lighting as well. Let's not forget the lighting. Candle. Oh, kitchen. We got some choppy kitchen work on the go. We've got the cook pot. Making some noodles, no doubt. So jealous. Yeah, Drizzling Rose knows what she's doing with her house. Actually knows what she's doing. What did you get? You got you got some sort of porridge. I got fruit. Fucking hell. You know how to treat a guest. Fruit. Fruit. I want some I want some Nixie head on a stick. I want a Nixie head on a stick with a side of fried egg. Fruit. Do I look like an animal? Oh, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Boom. Feast. This is how hospitality is done. I mean, I am a big cow at the moment, so I'd probably nom it all. Job done. Nommy nommies. Loving that. Love the decorative plates and the cups. Very fancy. There's probably I'm probably the least appreciative of the skill involved in this because I don't know how many of these items are like legit items and how much of this stuff has been cleverly put together to look cool. Oh, the fridge! Raid the fridge! Any Red Bulls? Frost spells, of course. Keep them in the fridge. With your conjured food. You need some ice cubes. But how have you made it frosty in there? It's crazy. How have you made this shit all frosty? This is the clever shit. In fact, fridges don't even exist. You've made the whole fridge, right? Clever. Rag to dry your hands on. Wash your hands. I should probably... Wait, hang on. I've sat in the sink. No! No, don't shit in the sink. Sorry, if there's... I didn't mean to shit in your sink. It was a mistake. It was all that lobster. It went straight through me. Steal that concept. Yeah, this is brain working. Look, put doors on a, you know, you make a whole fridge. Very clever. Right. Let's have a little look. Ladies first, obviously. And leave it. A parting gift. Parting gift. A bad smell in the sink. So I will just mix some berries into it. It'll be fine. The bathroom. I've already been, thanks. I've already been. Oh, now I can go properly. Look. Ugh. Now we're shitting in style. This is where the real thinking happens. This is where all of the goblin tactics become reality. Hey, look at the toilet roll holder. That's genius. Look at the toilet roll holder. I have no idea what's going on there, but it's very clever. Take off your pants. I mean, there's a proposition. My legs do not need to be seen. There we go. Officially cow going doo-doos. Okay, I got to put my pants on. I'm feeling a draft. Feeling a draft. Some nice art on the wall for when you're doing your deeds. Cheeky book to read. What's that? The Reader's Digest or the Guinness World Records. Sink with actually got water in it. Very clever. All very artistic. Nice cheeky little lights. Double lights. Beautiful. Beautiful. Take a shit. I'm not taking a shit in the sink, Jack. Yeah, wash my hands, yeah. Yeah, I washed my hands. I even took my gloves off to do it. Genius. Right, where we got next? 2 guest rooms. We have... I keep hitting you with doors, I'm sorry. We have the Horde room. This is for the unwelcome guests. This is, Do the mirrors work? Oh, the mirrors have reflection, but, like, not really. Need some ray tracing on the go in here. Very nice. Very nice. Like the illuminance. The ambiance. So I'm guessing the red carpet for the Horde room. Blue carpet for the Alliance room. I think I've cracked the color code in here, boys and girls. I think I've figured it out. The Alliance room. For those who are worthy. Roses. Nice picture on the wall. Hey, full size mirror. So you can ceiling mirror? No ceiling mirror. No ceiling mirror. It's not that kind of room. I'll scream if you go to her studio and there's a jigsaw puzzle. The elves like big mirrors. Wow, you know what they say about people with big mirrors, right? Small ego. Right, let's move. Let's go. Alliance room is double the size. Discrimination? No, it's just careful planning, that's all it is. Or it doesn't need that much room. Gym meditation room. Doing some more thinking. I did all of my thinking in your sink. You forgot to take a dump in the guest room? Oh, sorry. I have some culture. Oh, go on. Got a little work area. We can dong the gong when we feel inspired. Mushu. Good luck. Prayer mat. Put some prayer in. Got to contemplate. Got to pray for big gifts at Christmas. Pray to Santa. Did he just say Mushu in the Horde universe? Isn't Mushu Mushu's the dragon out of can't remember the cartoon now. Yo, treadmill. Hello. That's very clever. So this is a gnomish powered treadmill. Genius. No, I burned too many calories. I'm wasting away as it is. Mushu sounds like a shop for Mulan, that's the one, yeah. Heard the cat forms run fast. Oh, you might be right, actually. Hey, you got pace. Got pace. You're expecting me to have sprint keybound. There we go. Super speed. It's a farming character. You're lucky I've got buttons on the bar. Punch bag. For when we're in bear form. You know, practice our swipes. Which also isn't keybound, by the way. Whoops. We'll just roar at it instead. That's fine. Climbing wall. Oh, can you actually climb on the climbing wall? That's genius. Right, a bit of cat form needed for this, right, surely. Oh, I'm stuck in the wall. Not climbable yet. You need a few, like, sticky out shells that you can hop up. That'd be really cool. Although, my patience for a jumping puzzle is in the negative numbers. I don't know. I'm sure it's possible. But climbing walls, very clever. How did you make all of... Are these just like little rocks, or are these things you've put in the wall? These must actually be things you put in the wall, right? Very clever. Just coloured rocks. Nice. Some weapons, because you always need to keep a tight grip on your weapon. Probably walk around like this, actually, to be honest. Very nice. Very clever. Multi-purpose rooms as well. Love a bit of multi-purpose. Very smart. Aha! The area that should not be seen. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. This pile was bigger yesterday. You really are struggling for decor limits. This pile was bigger yesterday. What happened to all the wolves? Stack of wolf pelts is shrinking. The pool happened. It's a fair sacrifice to be made, I suppose. It'd be funny if you can climb in bear form. I need goat form. Goat would be best for climbing. Right. Hoppity, hoppity, hoppity up the stairs. Windows in the same place as outside for continuity. I'm glad. I would have never have noticed. Like 100% never noticed. Very cool. Now we got the upstairs. This is quite the abode. What do we have here then? Any guesses, chat? Any guesses what we got? I reckon this is going to be the sauna. Ooh, a pool. A spa day. Sit in the pool. Consider a BDSM chamber. That is one hell of a bonsai, by the way. That is probably the biggest bonsai I've ever seen. That is quite the bonsai, with a snack and a drinky poo for when you are fully bathed out. We got some towels by the looks of things to dry off. Aha! Found the sauna. Found the sauna. Do we have visitors? We have bonus visitors. Hey! We have visitors. It's a party. Welcome in, Persephone. How are we doing? I'm not in my usual attire here today, but this is going to be a bedroom. Room for beds. We'll have to simulate. We'll have to simulate it being a bedroom for a minute. No decor limit left for a bedroom, unfortunately. You'll have to sleep in the kitchen. Sleep in the kitchen. Used all decor limits. Is 1450, is that level 5 limits? You didn't show off the sauna. I need to chill in the sauna for a bit. It's cold. I live in Finland these days. You need Deathwing breathing from somewhere. I will resist getting naked. I will resist getting naked for PG reasons. I mean, we are on stream after all. But it is customary to take off all of your clothes when you go in the sauna. 1700 is level 5. Time to sponsor some house XP. I'm amazed that's one thing they've not put in the store, you know. Surprised they don't sell people XP on the store. And a little second bathroom. So no no bedroom, but 2 bathrooms. Door soon. Ah, yes, need more limit for a door. Sacrifices had to be made. This is the open plan bathroom. And then room for an eventual living room. Plenty of space. You could swing many a cat in here. Loads of room. Then a bonus. This feels like a secret passage to somewhere. This feels like it's got plans. Oh, oh, oh. Secret room. Oh my god. Now we get to see behind the scenes. Secret bonus room. Next week. Soon TM. You need a spare bathroom in case a Tauren shits in your sink. Yes. Clearly. Loads of bonus room here though. The mansion must grow. The mansion must grow. This has been very impressive. The fact that, you know, a few days of graft has put all of this together. This is already about 17 times more smart than mine is ever going to be, by the way. Character named Ho. Rounds enough for a report. I must admit I've forgotten the way we came though. Down this way. Very clever. Maybe sacrifice a pelt or two. Get a door on that bathroom upstairs. Get a door on that bathroom. I never once hit the level 5 limit. How are you all doing it? I mean, this is very, very smart. Very clever. The gym, I think, is... I mean, living in Finland, I should probably say the sauna, but I think the gym is the cleverest room. I mean, this treadmill is actually genius, by the way. The gnomish powered treadmill. Very clever. So yeah, there we go. That is the fridge is also really cool, by the way. This is the House of the Rose. Very cool. So it's pantry. Very nice. Where's the exploration? Built some huge houses. The closest I got to was 1900. I mean, I'm sure people will come up with some reasons to go way above that limit. And outside, we got a little... we didn't explore the outside. We got the wishing well. Make your wishes. I'll throw a penny or two in there. Noodle cart. The window for continuity, right? Or is it the window from the other side? Was there a window both sides? There was a window both sides. Very nice. Very impressed. Thank you for the guided tour. I do appreciate it. It's good to be able to showcase a house from somebody that clearly knows what they're doing. My house, I will show you when I've put more than nothing in it. But thank you, boys and girls. That's awesome. I'm gonna get back to picking up some lumber. But that was really cool to see. That was cool. Built a huge tree house on the beta and only used 500 points. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to hit any form of limit because I won't put that much time into it, but... yeah, that was really cool. That was very cool. How do I now get back to where I was? I think I teleported it, didn't I? Let's go let's head back. Appreciate that. Oh, I need to put all my clothes back on. Oh, God. I left half naked. People will start asking questions. Actually, that has conveniently taken enough time. I might just go do another quick cancel scan on all our decor. I can leave this. I've got gold on this couch, so I have. I can leave this doing a scan. Let's go old school. Aha, this character also has no add-ons. Okay, reconsider that. No skipping farming, that's the rules. Oh, I'm very tempted to skip the farming. I know they then be the rules, but... let's just log Ranthius on. He's responsible for all my TSM groups and stuff anyway, so... Right. You can stop your farming. Oh, now I need to be careful to make sure I keep warband access on the right character. Before I do anything too clever. Lurkus, I wrap some Christmas gifts, but I'll be listening. No, I appreciate that, Drizzling Rose. That was fun to have a little guided tour. I think chat appreciated it as well, because I'm never going to showcase a proper building. My house is going to be a shit show at the best. Come on, log in. My main account takes so goddamn long to log in to any character. Far too many add-ons. I knew I'd like housing, but it swooped me off my feet. I love it. It's like Gary's mod, but with a WoW skin, so it feels amazing. I never played Gary's mod, but the concept of it I obviously understand. Yeah, I can see why it will definitely grab people. Or frames. I would love more than 2 of them, please. Blizzard. TSM rebuilding an item cache or something. Says it's done. Your frames, please. Ah, this account's not flipping. This character's not got point blank sniper on either. We'll fix that. Oh no, I've got to reload the UI again. I mean, there's some games out there that I've contemplated playing before. The sort of the more base buildery kind of games, Rust and stuff like that, that I've always looked at and thought they were quite appealing and quite interesting to play. You know, the bit of the survival aspect, bit of a building a base, but I would sweat them out too much, which is why I'd probably then completely ignore all of the base building side of it, other than like pure utility. So I feel I'd play the game right, but I wouldn't get the fun out of it. And unfortunately, I never played Final Fantasy long enough to... yeah, never played Final Fantasy long enough to get to the player housing bit. Oh my god, I got too many. New list. Oh, import. Still on my paste? Yes. Region sale average. Stupid cheap. Since I'm not really expecting this to find anything ever. Out there. Main this one for a minute. Right, quick cancel scan on the decor here. Of course, we've been undercut on everything. Only other game I played with housing to any reasonable amount, Stardew Valley. Just fill my house with kegs for more gold. Oh, did I do a I did a flipping cancel scan on everything, didn't I? That was not my plan. I accidentally had base group tagged. Wow, Heroes of the Storm and Smash Bros. Pretty healthy appetite for gaming though, all the same. Somebody remembers Habbo Hotel. I know the name. Don't know anything about it. But yeah, I know the name. Best thing about EverQuest 2, Elder Scrolls Online, and Lord of the Rings housing is that you do not need any adventurer level to do it. Okay. I mean, WoW is kind of positioning itself in that same sort of vein, though, isn't it? You can fly around and pick up and do all of the stuff, but I mean, sure, if you don't do any of the MMO aspect of WoW, your decor collection might be quite limited, but you can still do it. I don't know if that counts as the same. Stardew Valley supposedly slow-placed cozy game. I log in and turn into my autistic wet dream min-maxing speedruns. Yeah, that doesn't sound very chill. I'm the same with Factorio. That you're meant to be able to play Factorio very chill, without really much stress. Once every 6 months I'll go back and play it, and I stress myself out and don't sleep for 3 days. And then I'm like, I must go play WoW again. It's too much like hard work. I must go play WoW again. Oh, we sold one of those stupid tapestries. 37,000 gold.
Well
Yoink.
met. Go in peace.
Ashes of Creation will launch in early access in 2 days on Steam. If the price tag on it will be reasonable, will you give it a go? I know I will. I've been waiting for the game for years now. It's not done, but interesting what they've cooked up so far. There was a bit controversy over it going on to Steam, wasn't there? And I don't think I really understood it. Possibly though. Possibly though. I have just spent like 5 million on flipping decor though, so I kind of need to make sure I don't get too distracted and that I actually sell that or the value completely tanks. But yeah, where Ashes of Creation is concerned, I don't want to be paying full AAA prices for an early access game. That's something I'm not about. We'll say. Wasted $200 on Ashes to play the alpha. Don't bother. It's going to be an early alpha for the next 2 years. It's one of those though. It's it's a game that's kind of probably quite good to get in on kind of early. Much like WoW. I mean, I can't unlearn all of the stuff I know about WoW. And there's 20 plus years of knowledge in WoW. I mean, I'm basically at the point now where I just can't even... I really struggle to visualize how a new person to World of Warcraft even sees it. Because I can't switch off everything I already know about the game. And I tend to also think that having 20 years of knowledge in the game is actually very useful at times. Being able to see something like Ashes of Creation, if it is going to end up being as big as it sounds, seeing it from like quite an early stage. Stupid cancel scan crashing all the time. My max is 50. Yeah, if they go in early access and they want people to actually buy into it, they need to no more than $40 really, I'd say. But it depends. You have to remember that putting it on Steam means they have to give 30% to Steam, which they will take into consideration when they price it. Because why wouldn't you? Yeah, if they start trying to charge $100 for it, it's an absolute no. Not with Christmas around the corner. I mean, unless they email me and give me a code. That's another option, but that's probably not happening. Ooh. Baldraken vase. Sold.
Well met. May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
In Lemix, I really had the feeling that everybody knew what to do, and I was so lost. Still have to understand how to do a Legion Assault, or even what that is. Yeah, I mean, Remix wasn't so much about, oh, I played Legion, I know what I'm doing. It's more about the fact that you just knew how the Remix system worked. So it probably wasn't too bad, because at the end of the day, you're just questing, right? Not really too crazy. Oh yeah, these are going to show that I'm actually just looking for stuff properly.
Greetings, traveler.
I love Steam, but 30% is gangster amount. I agree with you, but at the same time, it's an industry standard, which is a problem. Steam can charge 30% because Apple charges 30%. Apple can charge 30% because Google charges 30%. You know, it's a circular problem that it's just an industry standard that these platforms take 30%. 70% of something is better than 100% of nothing. Well, that is true, but you would question, does Ashes of Creation isn't exactly a nothing burger, is it? Not exactly an unknown entity that would have much of a problem selling a stack load of copies. Steam rates go down if you sell millions. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I mean, 30% is, you know, your default through the door rate. That's always going to be negotiable. But it's still a big chunk of change, no doubt. Stephen, the main face of the company and founder, said this game will not be for everybody. They don't want to make a new WoW killer. Dude has a buttload of money and's just simply decided to make his own take in the MMO genre. Looks solid so far. Yeah, I've heard this sort of take a few times. That the guy has just more money than he knows what to do with. And is willing to make a game that he likes. Which is a good start. It's a very good start. I mean, if he's fundamentally just using it as a tax write-off for another company or something, then it doesn't really matter too much how much it costs. But I tend to believe that even people with more money than sense don't waste money because that's how they got more money than sense in the first place a lot of the time. Meaning there will come a point where, you know, that the line must go up at some point. They sold access to alpha and beta for hundreds of dollars each and are now throwing it on Steam. I doubt there's much money left. Well, they're clearly trying to get, you know, a bigger and bigger audience, aren't they? I mean, you're not going to get much of a bigger audience than... I mean, it's why Steam is what Steam is, you know? People put their games on Steam and people swallow the 30% fee because they know they can put their game on Steam and it gets put in front of quite literally millions of people. I wouldn't so much say that money is running out, but it certainly would be an indication that its development is coming along at least. You're certainly not going to put it on Steam if it's an absolute shit show still. Because you'll get called out on that real fast. If you're going to put your game in front of a really big audience and you're paying a premium to do that, it better be at least half good. Now, I know there's an awful lot of utter trash on Steam. But because Ashes already has a bit of a you know, it's already reasonably known. Surely the theory to put it on Steam is to just get it in as many people's hands as possible.
How may I aid you? May the eternal sun shine upon thee. Greetings.
Steam will rip the game apart. I bought early access titles with more solid gameplay. Got it. I mean, we'll see. If it lands in 2 days, we'll see. So they're launching it on a Thursday, are they? So if we do play it, it's a weekend thing when I don't usually stream anyway. I don't know. I've basically cleared my calendar now until like midnight is actually launched. I tactically avoided Battlefield 6, which was the one thing that was going to potentially pull me away. I think for the most part now, play out this housing craze and then get real down to business with midnight launch. I'm not really sure I want to die. I mean, I also got to be aware that, what is it, like the 9th of December? Christmas turns up like very soon. A beloved raptor plushie, of course. Stupid raptor plushies. Sale's a sale.
Go in peace.
He said they're aware, but he doesn't really care. They just want feedback, even if it's a rough one. Maybe that's it. Maybe there was a limited amount of people that were willing to give like 150 euros to like basically be a tester for a game, a very, very early access game. You know, and you also find that your feedback then... Blizzard has this same problem, doesn't it? Blizzard has the same issue. That a lot of the feedback they get is from like super hardcore, sweaty part of the game, which doesn't necessarily result in the best feedback for everybody involved. So maybe they do just need loads of people to have a go and see what they think about it.
Greetings,
And if
traveler.
the feedback is bad, then, well, they know what they got to do, right? Theory. Right, at least so far, we've had a couple of decor sales this morning without too much bother. Don't expect huge things in the morning anyway. Oh, this is Kazakh. Oh, okay. Should pay attention to what server it is before we log on.
Well met.
On the off chance Kazakh wants something. Yeah, no. Any bargains on Kazakh? Lamppost. I do have to be careful about just how much stuff I do buy to flip. Like I said, we're a little bit on the clock because we do know that the prices of a lot of this stuff is gonna be pushed down. I need to try and shift it relatively quickly, I think. Don't want to end up sitting on too much of it. Just a cheap price for a table though. These flipping great big drills. Yeah, I'm out of gold again.
How may I aid you?
If I can sell enough every day though, we can, if needs be, ride the wave down for a few days without worrying about it. I don't need to be making huge amounts of profit straight away. Just come and buy every piece of decor on Thrall, and then I can stop this auction house madness. Thrall isn't one of the realms I target right now. Thrall isn't twinned with anybody else, I don't think. I have a character on Thrall, but not on the account that I'm using to flip decor right now. Now that does mean I wouldn't be... That doesn't mean I wouldn't go there to buy stuff if it's really cheap, but I don't think you'll want to sell for the price I want to buy, if you know what I mean. There's an add-on, Decor Treasure Hunt, works with TomTom for the decor items if anybody's interested. That's like a 20-part quest chain or something, isn't it, that thing? Doesn't it give you like a piece of decor like at most stages as well? It's quite clever if it is. No sales here.
Well met. Be careful.
The stupid daily that gives you a 10 gold worth decor item. Oh. Okay. Well, I don't think most people really consider the price of the crafted decor, like, worth. There does seem to only be a percentage of the player base that's even willing to think about it, never mind buy it. Following for years, new account though, glad to see still rolling, much appreciate your vids on YouTube and info. Hey, well thank you. My presence on YouTube is significantly less than it used to be. We're streaming every day on YouTube. We multi-stream to both Twitch and YouTube, but in terms of video content, I do far less than I ever used to. It's really difficult with YouTube. I mean, I find it really difficult with YouTube because you get blinded by the big numbers at like an expansion launch. So like, it's really nice to be able to like post videos and get 10, 15,000 views basically without trying at the beginning of an expansion. To then put in similar like when you get to like middle of an expansion, it's to actually do like a proper video, you know, not one where I just kind of talk into the camera for 5 minutes. You know, to do one with actually a bit of a theme and a script and that sort of stuff, it becomes a lot of effort for like 1,000 views on YouTube. I'd much rather spend that time doing just an extra stream. Ah, stupid. Cancel scan broken. But yeah, the fact that we're getting towards, or we're heading towards the new expansion will definitely mean that I'll start picking up the pace of YouTube stuff again soon. I've been kind of waiting until the ramp up period for Midnight launch. So you mean, you know, like getting Remix out the way, getting this housing business out the way a little bit. Then when we get towards where people start like, because at the moment people are like, oh yeah, Midnight's the new expansion, we know when it's coming out, but there's all, you know, there's like things that people are focused on far more so. Me putting out a video from the beta about a Midnight profession right now is basically useless. That's kind of my point. It doesn't really particularly help anybody. Because nobody's really bothered at them.
Goodbye.
Yeah, it won't be long until people start really sort of brainstorming what they want to do. A couple more beta builds, I think, and the Midnight beta, you know, the beta will probably feel a lot more finished. Alpha is alpha. You just take it for whatever it is. When the beta launched, we didn't find it very hard to pick holes in a lot of the stuff though. So the launch of beta felt really quite unfinished. And it makes it hard to like solidify your ideas about what they're trying to do because they don't tell us. This is also the problem. You have to kind of guess what they're trying to do. It took us a couple of weeks to like really figure out that okay, they're just carving things out of the professions left, right, and center. They're carving things out in the name of making things more simplistic, even though I thoroughly disagree with the approach that they've taken. I think the approach they've taken is in the wrong direction, but it was also hard to, you know, confirm or deny, considering half of it was unfinished. We need Moxie on profession tools. We need to get we need to get an understanding of just what the pacing is going to be. Is Moxie on tools going to be such a restriction in place that, you know, it becomes the bottleneck? is the fact that there doesn't seem to be like 30 knowledge points available via easy books going to become the bottleneck. It's difficult to tell at the moment just how the professions are going to actually play out. So we need Moxie to appear on the tool so we can get a better understanding of that. We need some of the balancing to happen so that we know maybe just how many knowledge points and what sort of journey you've got to get your professions properly set up. When we get a little bit more of this sort of information, then you can start brainstorming, right, how do we do this? How do we play with this? How do we make the gold with this? Gives me some S tier content to watch while I eat my dinner. True. And no, not the auction house. Where's the banker dude? There's the banker dude.
Go in peace.
14 minutes to level from 20 to 80 on Remix. Gee, 14 minutes? From 20 up until 80? Is this another Haldron special?
Well met.
Why'd you say 20 to 80? What's you're clearly avoiding the first 10 levels somehow. Was that just a typo? Ten levels to get your artifact weapons. Oh, I see. So you got to get your artifact weapons first. Well, I mean, that's quite time consuming, right? Yeah, it's so funny to see, like, your first couple of characters on Remix. I think it took me the best part of about 12 hours. 10, 12 hours to get my first character to 80 on Remix. And that was also, I believe, that might have also been taking advantage of the fact that heroic dungeons were giving way more experience than I think they should have been. So to go from it taking like 10 to 12 hours to level one character down to 15 minutes, that's quite a jump, isn't it? Bottle lamps. Do I want to buy more bottle lamps? These really cheap decor items seem to be turning up in pretty large quantities. Generally across the board. And I think it's because every single bit of advice I've heard about crafting decor in the last couple of days has been craft the stuff that takes the least lumber. It has the best lumber per, best value per lumber, which is not totally incorrect. But there is already starting to be an absolute flood of the cheap shit. And half the reason I think it is selling the best is because there are many other people like me that are buying the cheap shit to then take it everywhere. Which is maybe problematic. But this realm is not bad for sales already. 80k worth of sales on this realm already today.
Greetings. May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
I was able to play, I'd also sell the profession leveling mats by shopping list from WoW Professions. That's a very legitimate way of doing it. The difference is, though, is you're about 6 months too late to that party. In terms of the fact that that was one of the very first things people looked at sort of squirreling away. Was as many materials that it takes to level the professions as possible. And I reckon the people that have done that have then probably sold a bunch of them back out and probably have incredibly cheap prices on what they paid back in, 6 months ago. Okay, I've clearly been 20 minutes since I've pressed a button on these accounts. Do you have any idea what changes are coming to Lemix tomorrow yet? I've not looked, actually. This whole decor thing has got me so engrossed, I've barely even looked at WoWed for a few days. If anybody knows, look, if there's anything, like, clear and defined, we should get a blog post, really, shouldn't we? If it's going to be the last major update for Remix, and it's supposedly meant to come with, like, catch-up and stuff like that, they should probably scream and shout about it a bit. I mean, they might have. I might have just not been listening, but... Also, things like the fences, people who do want to use them need a lot of them. To encircle your yard, you need like 20 to 40 of them. I can't really see anybody looking at the crafted stuff to do that, though. Because there is clearly significantly cheaper vendor options for that sort of stuff. Now, there'll always be somebody that wants the thing that looks exactly the way that they want it, but... While I have bought some fences and flipped some fences and stuff, it's not been... They've not been super duper so far. Lobster platters. These are another one that I kind of can't help but think these are just being mass crafted. Because their sell rate is really high. But I think their sell rate is really high because people are selling them really cheap. Not because lots of people really want them. Panda fences are beautiful, you're just a hater. Sorry. I mean, I'd more than happily have everybody want all of the crafted stuff. I'd sell a lot more of it then. No problems.
How may I aid you?
How many more we got? There's still a few more to go. Let's see if we can rapid fire through these. These dudes have logged off. Got a boatload of the orcish fence yesterday. I said somebody clearly does want them. Yeah, this is the only thing I've not really taken much consideration into yet. And I think I probably won't until things settle down. I haven't really taken into consideration that there are certainly some items that people will want one and probably only ever one, but there are definitely also things that people might just buy 10 of. Things like chairs. Just scream, I'll buy 10 of them sort of thing, I've not really paid any attention to that side of things yet, but very little for sale on this. Oh, this is Twisting Nether again. This bank is currently unavailable. Ow! Sod off! I've given Warbank access to the wrong account. That's thrown the entire plan. Log you fellas out. Flipping hell. So easy to accidentally get Warbank access on the wrong account. Drives me nuts. Go on, I want to see you actually logged in. Yeah, there we go.
Greetings, traveler. May the eternal sun shine upon
Not posting much on Twisting Nether either. Does that mean there's some goodies to be had on Twisting Nether? I think we looked at this earlier, didn't we? Everything on Twisting Nether is kind of cheap, but not really cheap enough to buy it. Yeah. Cheap, but not cheap enough. Want to see some crazy things that people are doing with housing? Somebody has made an explorable cave? Okay. Nearly 400 boulders placed. Level 4 house, 1745 decor placed, 36 out of 36 room budget, 5 floors. But they made it look like a cave on the outside. This was 3 days ago as well. How do people have flipping time to do this? Definitely feels like a cave. Where are the kobolds? I was about to say, is that it? But then I noticed the other door, so I guess it does continue on a little bit. But it's, yeah, it's... People clearly just straight up ignoring standard practices. Hey, secret door. There we go. It had to happen, didn't it? Secret door, and then it goes on. Looks like a day 5 Minecraft base. Okay, this is clever, but I'm not watching it for 5 minutes. That's yeah, it's people clearly are doing smart things. This is kind of what I was would hope up. I like I said, I've said this before. I'm not creative. Like I'm creative as a brick. So being able to like see what other creative things people have come up with is really cool. I mean, we did a little bit of a guided tour around Drizzling Rose's place. There's I'm sure it won't be long, or you'll start seeing like proper housing competition. You know, transmog competitions have been a thing. Housing competitions have got to be the next step up, right? Surely. The amount of time and effort over the years people have put into their transmog, I'm sure given enough time, people will do the same with their housing. We saw your spreadsheets, you're creative, no lies. No, my spreadsheets are not creative. That's a different type of creativity. That's like making one number point to another number. That definitely leans further into logical than creative. And even my spreadsheets aren't that impressive. I just hack them together and make them kind of roughly look nice. Like that's the thing. I under the hood they were never doing anything particularly clever. I appreciate aesthetics with things, but yeah, creative is not something I would describe myself as. Where's the best spot to farm Dornic fir lumber? I just wouldn't farm any other lumber. The War Within lumber's worth the least by a long way. Your time is much better spent farming basically any of the other ones. Assuming, of course, you have the professions to craft with them. But the reason the War Within lumber is the least valued is because clearly it's the one that people already have the professions for. And so it's kind of already crashing faster than the others. To actually answer your question, though, I don't have a proper answer. I would probably just say flying around the Isle of Dawn is probably the easiest because you're close to home then. Don't know if the other zones are going to be particularly much better.
Well,
I have not spent anywhere near enough time farming, and I probably won't. One day I will properly
go in peace.
take farming seriously, but it might... Wow, that's really bad. It might require an entire new account kind of game mode for me to care about farming too heavily again. Just don't enjoy it. Telescopes. Couple more of those. Kebab platter. Cool. Morales bookshelf. Low sell rate on those, but 4.5k is pretty cheap. Okay, there's another 60k accidentally sold. Spent. I doubt there's anything that will bring him back. Farm content on start of expansion and bounce. Honestly, I would do, but even like 50, 60,000 gold an hour at the beginning of an expansion doesn't appeal to me, because there's also significantly more gold to be made crafting at the beginning of the expansion, in my opinion. If you can find your avenue, you can blow farming results completely out the water. But this is kind of where you need to, at the beginning of an expansion, you should try and wombo combo a bunch of it. You should set yourself like a basic set of things to do. Basic set of things to do with your crafting professions, and once you've done them, then go and spend any extra time you want to spend on doing some farming at the beginning. Such as like setting up concentration alts is one of those things that I probably wouldn't do it in Season 1. I'm talking about if you don't already have the characters. It's going to be a little different going into Midnight because people are already going to have the characters. But setting up concentration alts, for example, the time spent doing that, sure, will pay off long term. But instead of spending an hour setting up a concentration alt that will make you 10,000 gold a week, you could probably just go spend that hour farming and make 50,000 gold in your back pocket right now. Which I think is, in the hierarchy of things at the beginning of an expansion, you should probably prioritize crafting because it basically has no ceiling. If you find a good market in crafting, you can make silly gold. Then if you've got any bonus time, go do a bunch of farming. And then if you are really bored of farming, then maybe consider doing some like concentration alts or something. But to do all of the above, you got to be playing 12 hours a day anyway.
How may I aid you?
Okay, I've only got a couple more characters to double check. No surprises that there haven't been too many sales this morning. It'll probably be this evening where a few sales will come through. Got the special arts and crafts autism with my IRL fireplace, cosplay props, and now housing. Your little fireplace thing's really cool. I can't even be bothered to put a fireplace on the telly. Never mind cut a hole in a chest of drawers and mount a monitor in there and then, you know. Cancel scans crashed. Ooh, a rug and a Gilnean post box. 40k over here.
Well met. Goodbye.
Time to crash the Shadowlands decor market on NA. After weekly reset, of course. Why is now the time to crash it?
Greetings.
Do we think weekly reset's going to have much of any impact at all on decor? Can't imagine it will, really, will it? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me that it matters. This is why I think decor is going to be an interesting one, because your sales on decor can literally turn up at any hour of the day. Sure, there was definitely hours of the day where there is more people playing, but outside of that, there's not really much logic to when people might buy decor. Not that I can come up with. Oh, you're close to 5k lumber from Shadowlands. Yeah, that's quite a lot. Overnight sales surprised me for sure. Yeah, there's clearly some people that sit up until 4 o'clock in the morning tinkering with their house as well, isn't there? Failure detection pylon. 15k. Worth a go, innit?
Greetings, traveler. Go in peace. Well met.
The fact that cancel scan and reposting costs like 2 gold to do as well kind of means that you're almost not, obviously minus the time, but it's nice that it's nice that there's no big deposit costs on the decor. Not that it would make any difference to how people approach it, but if it cost you like 50 to 100 gold every time you did a cancel scan, it would nuke the cheaper end of the market pretty quickly. We're already starting to see things quite frequently dip into like low 4 figures. A bunch of stuff I've been able to buy is at like 3,000-4,000 gold already. Ooh, I think the puppies are starting to wake up. They've had their nap for the day. My time might be limited. Another Gilnean map.
Hail. May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
Surprising just how many things I see being posted at normal price. Which still goes to show me that there are many places that probably don't even have a full
How may I aid you?
selection of crafted items yet. Which is kind of wild that we're a week in and there could be realms that don't have certain things made. I mean, whether it's just by accident that somebody's come in and bought them all, or they've expired or something, but be basically a week in, and for that to still not be certain items crafted is kind of unheard of in a crafting market. Okay, the puppies are definitely awake. Oh, I can't like quote whichever specific item, but when relisting these auctions, quite often I see things that are being posted in at normal price, indicating that I'm the only one that's listing it. K 9 o'clock, yeah. Yeah, when the puppies wake up, it's quite important they go out pretty quick. So I can't really mess about now. Last couple of realms and then we'll have to call it, I think.
Greetings. Goodbye.
Wonder if there'll be new housing types on Midnight launch. Well, Midnight is coming with a few new crafted things for the professions. We already know that. I would imagine they will very frequently be adding new decor stuff. I think it's going to be one of those things that we'll end up seeing a store option of decor like literally every month. You know, a pack of themed stuff seems very much like a Blizzard thing to do.
Greetings, traveler.
I mean, they've kind of, you know, teed everybody up with, you know, a launch of housing, get everybody in, get people making their house, get people collecting all the decor, and then they'll start drip feeding stuff into the store pretty quickly, I think. Both in the store and into the game, I would very much hope, but let's be real. Blizzard of today is more likely to put something in the store first and then put it in the game after. We all know the next expansion, Epic Edition, will have epic decor, probably. Where's this? John Arub. Chronic nesting bed. Once again, I've got quite a few of these already. People don't seem to be too fussed with these. Once again, that's not a bad price. Zephyr striped rug. Didn't plan on spending a bunch of gold on this realm, but if you see cheap stuff, pick it up.
Be careful. Greetings, traveler.
Some more stock to spread around all the same. Right, last realm. Last realm, and I might have to call it here for the day, boys and girls. The puppies are waking up. Means I need to be prepared to take them all out for a walk. It's Wednesday tomorrow, isn't it? It's reset day. Like I mentioned a minute ago, I don't really think reset day is going to have much of an impact on what we're doing. It will have been an entire week we'll have had for decor and lumber. Ironically, I think I'm actually down in terms of gold, technically. But that's because I've spent probably 4.5 million gold on buying decor to spread around all these different realms. I now do not really need to be quite so heavy with how much I spend. Now it's just a case of focusing on selling a bunch of it. It was nice to see that we sold nearly 1 million gold worth of stuff just overnight, which is a really nice percentage of what we bought. Meaning it hopefully shouldn't take too long. A few cheaper days of maybe not buying too much stuff might help with a few good days of sales. We can start spinning a profit within only a couple of days, which would be really cool. Need to stop searching for goodies. The more I search for goodies, the more I'll spend, but...
Go in peace.
Sunk about 2 mil yesterday just on getting skill ups for old profession skills. Woof. That's a lot to get old professions up and running. That must mean that the materials for those have gone up quite substantially.
How may I aid you?
I was lucky I didn't have to do too much of that anyway. I've played the profession game for so flipping long. 90% of my professions were done anyway. But I don't think I spent more than 100k gold finishing off setting up my professions, but
May the eternal sun shine.
yeah, you're going to have to get some farming on the go to repay all of that, for sure. But there's plenty of time. It's what we are led to believe, that decor is going to be relatively evergreen. Sure, the prices will not stay this crazy for very long. They're already dropping by what feels like a good 10% a day. So it won't be too long before people get bored of farming. And when people get bored of farming, that will limit the supply, and then things start to balance a little bit. So we'll see where it sits. We'll see where it sits. I'm still cautiously buying stuff when I see it and I think it's cheap. But of course, I could be getting this very wrong, and it could all crash significantly further. It's a gamble. Who knows? This is why I need to focus on actually selling a bunch of this stuff that we've collected over the last day or two. That's got to be my main focus for a couple of days. But I'm going to love you and leave you, boys and girls. Thank you all for joining today. Thank you to Drizzling Rose specifically for showing us around your house. It was very interesting to see what somebody with a creative mind can do. If you missed that, feel free to check back on the VOD. It was some cool stuff going on in there. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll smash it again. We'll open some mailboxes and see if we're becoming billionaires. It's been fun. Catch you next time. Peace.